Now the second movement has the same kind of initial stance, but you don't step out of it. So that feet slightly turned out, so you just have that slight turning outward with your feet, just a little bit like this. You can feel how it kind of engages perhaps a little bit into the back of your pelvis. That's where we're going to stay for this one. And what I'm going to show you though, and I'm going to come closer so you can see this, is that in front of my pelvis, I'm going to be bringing my hands, so in front of that kind of dantian area again, just below the belly button, and going to bring my hands in and see if I can kind of find a bit of an energy ball between my hands. So somewhere in here, you'll feel perhaps like two positive pole magnets that you're trying to push against each other, and you'll get just a little bit of a subtle pushback happening. And when just as you start to get the feel of that, that's what you're looking for. And you can see my hands are slightly curled as if I'm holding a Nerf ball or something like that, that has that kind of feel of roundness to it as they come in. So that's the movement. And I'm going to stay close and just kind of show you where it goes from there. So you built up that pressure, and then just let that pressure release your hands and begin a movement that releases and comes out with a slight flick, as if you're flicking water off your hands. So coming in and then release like that. And you can see my arms stay pretty close to my side, so it's just kind of like that. It's all lower body or lower arm movement like that. And with the lower body, what you're going to see or feel yourself do is, as your hands come out, you're going to go down onto the balls of your feet. So there's a slight sinking that happens as your heels lift a little bit and you come down and forward onto the balls of your feet. It's kind of as if you were going through the middle of the rocking motion, but you really sort of, instead of going up onto the balls of your feet at the end, you just sink right down. So there can even be a lightening of your heels, not much, I mean just a slight weight transfer onto the balls of your feet. You don't want to feel like you're balancing on the balls of your feet. You've still got some heel connected to the ground. So that's the kind of dropping down that's happening. And at the same time, as I do that, my hands are going through that releasing of the energy ball and flicking out, straightening up, coming onto full feet, releasing energy ball, and coming up like that. So that's the way the movement goes. Now let me just show you the sequence of it. So let's start from our resting position, then bring your hands into the ball in front of you. Now here we go, release that energy ball, sink once. Release that, sink a second time, and the third time you do a circle. And I'm going to show you from the front. You do a circle like this, and you can see how my wrists comes flexed or extended, like this, and then they come in toward my side like this. Now what that looks like from the side is that as I come out here, then I come around the back. So I'm taking my hands and reaching around the back of a disc with my fingers, coming around it as far as I can before I have to kind of switch and come underneath it again and just guide around the outside of that disc and like that, right? So what it's going to look like from the front is I'm down here, the third time I'm coming out, instead of flicking, I go round, and the second time, and then I bring my hands in and straighten up again. So let's put that all together now. Here I am in that dantian connected energy ball area. I release and sink. Release and sink onto the balls of my feet. And then the third time around. So you really feel how that kind of really gives your wrists a chance to circle and connect, and then coming back in and straighten. Then I do it 2 more times. So it's a set of 3. 1, 2, 3, and around. And 1 more time. 1, and just feel how you can kind of sink down here as well. 2, and 3, on a little bit on the balls of your feet, and then come in, and because you're below your belt line, you want to lift up before you come to the gentle resting position. And just let a slight softening flexion happen in your hands and wrists, dropping of your elbows and shoulders, and just let yourself kind of drop into that place. Your feet are fairly evenly connected to the ground, maybe just slightly forward toward the ball of your feet, but pretty much evenly connected. So there's the second move, bird flaps its wings, and these two are very foundational movements. I mean, these two in themselves are ones you could just do on their own at any time. Now in a chair, you can do the same thing. You just have to adjust it just a little bit, and I'll show you from the front first of all. So in this case, you have to kind of bring your hands together just in front of your pelvis this way, and as you come out with your hands, it's a little bit of a coming across the top of your thighs, and then when you do the going around, so you start from the bottom of the disc, go around the back of it, come across, you still have that ability to do that same kind of movement, right? And then you're coming in and gathering again. So the only thing that you'll want to make sure that you're doing while you're doing that in the chair is very similar to the rocking motion, that you're allowing your pelvis to move. Right? So you've kind of found those sit bones. Sometimes it helps to sit a little bit forward on your chair so you can kind of find that place where there's something solid to engage with, and your thighs have some free movement so your pelvis can roll without being restricted by the thigh back pressure from the chair. And as you go forward, you're just going to arch a little bit, flatten, arch, and then flatten a bit, and then around. So there's not that same kind of dropping, but you still get the same pelvic movement happening. And just going through the same sequence of a set of 3 of these. So even if you you don't have any kind of standing restriction, this kind of working with the chair can be a real useful way of just kind of isolating parts of your movement every once in a while, and especially for understanding this pelvic movement. It's a really a very, very important benefit that you'll get from working with this practice.